Seth Rollins' whole gimmick has been based on him acting as a menace to the wrestling community, whether that's playing mind games with his opponents to gain an unfair advantage or messing with fans online with his bizarre tweets. He's exhibited some of these traits in his early stages of his WWE career, but has taken it to a completely different level ever since he began wearing flashy, over-the-top suits while ridiculously dancing to his own theme music. The comedic character work he's been putting out has been top tier, easily the best any wrestler currently has to offer, so it would be a disservice not to acknowledge it. Thus, for this video, we're going to take a look at 10 times Seth Rollins has trolled either his fellow wrestlers or WWE fans. Number 10, mystery opponent tweets. Cody returning to go up against Rollins at WrestleMania may go down as the worst kept secret in the WWE, but thankfully, we had someone who went all out to keep the mystery alive. In order to stir some doubt about who his opponent would be, Rollins did what he knows how to do best, trolling fans on social media. He began tweeting out GIFs of wrestlers who were highly unlikely to be his mystery opponent, but still had somewhat of a possibility, such as Veer, Shane McMahon, Mustafa Ali, and John Cena. Then he slowly progressed into GIFs of wrestlers who had absolutely no chance of facing him, such as Bayley, Marco Stunt, Scott Steiner, and Asuka. Heck, this man even put up a post of Will Smith in the height of his Oscar controversy. Even though his tweets were absurd, it did exactly what he sought out to do, which was getting the fans to talk about the match and question if Cody was actually going to be a part of it. Number 9, John Cena's broken nose. In an episode of Monday Night Raw, John Cena suffered a gruesome nose injury after Seth Rollins struck him with a flying knee. This was obviously a horrible moment in Cena's life that he probably wants to keep in the past, but Rollins would never allow that to happen. So during a backstage segment, he walked towards Cena manically laughing before asking him if he remembered the time when his knee smashed into his face and broke it into a million pieces.
When I put my knee directly into your nose and broke your face into a million tiny pieces?
He took his trolling a step further by saying that they are much alike, except the fact that he managed to successfully cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase, whereas Cena was the first person to fail miserably. This is exactly the type of behavior you would expect from the person who literally released a "You Can't Knee Me" shirt right after breaking Cena's nose. Number 8, mocking a fan. No one is safe from the trolling antics of Seth Rollins, not even children. Shortly after defeating Matt Riddle at Clash at the Castle, Rollins headed towards the backstage area, but suddenly stopped when he noticed a kid in the front row was clearly upset by the outcome. He realized that this would be the perfect opportunity to show just how good of a heel he is, so he began mocking the kid by doing a crying gesture while saying, "Are you gonna cry about it?" Afterwards, he went back to celebrating his victory and orchestrating his theme song with the crowd, showing no remorse whatsoever for what he had just done. Number 7, terrorizing the Mysterio family. 2020 will always be known as the year that Seth Rollins had an obsession with terrorizing the Mysterio family. During his SummerSlam feud with Dominic Mysterio, who was about to have his first WWE match, Rollins brought up a traumatizing moment from the past to get in the head of his opponent. He tweeted out a photo of Dominic when he was just a child stuck in the middle of a rivalry involving Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero battling each other for custody. Next to the scared young Dominic was a photoshopped image of Rollins who had a wicked smile on his face, resembling a villain you'd expect to see in the pages of a comic book. Even more perfect in the photo was the caption, which read, "The biggest decision in this young man's life. This SummerSlam he'll have to fight for himself." The trolling did not stop there. When it was time for them to have a match, Rollins came out wearing an attire that was obviously copying the same design as Rey Mysterio's Halloween Havoc attire against Eddie. This was done to once again get under the skin of the Mysterio family because the attire carries a lot of sentimental value, especially since that match is regarded as one of the best he's ever had. Seth Rollins continues to troll them even years later when he had a match with Rey Mysterio recently where he was mocking Rey Mysterio and his eye because a couple years ago, Rey Mysterio literally almost lost his eye because of Seth Rollins in a feud. The man has no chill with his family. I feel bad for the Mysterios. Number 6, breaking into Edge's home. On an episode of SmackDown, Rollins invaded Edge's privacy in the worst way possible, by breaking into his home and making it appear as if his family was in danger. Throughout the whole segment, Rollins' trolling tendencies were showing as he acted as if he owned the place. He raided the fridge for some orange juice, kicked up his feet on the dining table, and then criticized Edge's daughter's artwork on the wall. He insulted them by saying that he knew that they were still very young, but they shouldn't expect to have a future career in the arts. He kept going on with the trolls as he looked up at the family photo and said that his daughter should be grateful that they look like Beth and not Edge. Finally, it ended with him comfortably sprawled out on Edge's love seat, eating an apple on one hand and turning the fireplace on with the other, claiming that he could stay here all night long. Beth Phoenix recently tweeted about this by saying, "1 year ago, Rollins ate my apple and I really wanted that apple." Rollins replied by trolling and saying it's the best apple he's ever eaten. The man does not miss. Number 5, name botch. This one wasn't actually directed towards a particular fan or wrestler, but it was too hilarious to exclude from the list. Wrestlers experiencing a name change became quite common under the leadership of Vince McMahon, and Seth Rollins was not an exception to this. For some reason, Vince thought it would be necessary to add freakin' in the middle of his name, leading to a house show completely butchering it up. When advertising a match he had against Cody Rhodes, he was mistakenly referred to as Seth Franklin Rollins, which was quickly joked about by fans all over social media, and he decided to play along with the fans by changing his Twitter handle to Seth Franklin Rollins. This goes to show that he is capable of taking any situation, even something as simple as a name botch, and capitalizing off of it. Number 4, Dusty's attire. The trilogy of matches between Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes ended with the grandest trolling scheme of them all. At the Hell in a Cell, Rollins took off his robe to reveal that he was wearing a black and yellow polka dot gear, which was clearly inspired from Dusty Rhodes' famous look. This was the ultimate form of disrespect because it was done out of spite rather than to honor the legacy he left behind. The match was difficult enough for Cody because he had to deal with the physical pain of tearing a pec, and now he also had to deal with the psychological pain of watching the man he's feuding with dress up as his dad. At the end of the day though, Cody came out of the match victorious, proving that trolling doesn't always work in Rollins' favor. Number 3, the Young Bucks copycat tweets. Everyone wants to have a piece of Seth Rollins' drip, even those who belong to a different wrestling promotion. The Young Bucks followed in the footsteps of Rollins by developing an extravagant fashion sense after turning heel. They were later accused of being unoriginal for wearing black leather jackets with fur collars, which is exactly what Rollins started to wear during his Monday Night Messiah gimmick. Surprisingly, this wasn't even the first time they blatantly copied his style. In the AEW Dynamite special, The House Always Wins, the Young Bucks came out wearing Rollins' signature red leather jacket, which was a perfect match all the way down to the black fur collar. Of course, Rollins couldn't continue to ignore this, so he trolled them for being copycats. He posted a sarcastic tweet that read, "Congratulations to my jacket on its successful trip through the forbidden door." As you can see, he handled the situation with humor rather than bitterness, making him a true professional. Number 2, Matt Riddle's personal life. There comes a time when trolling gets taken too far, evolving from harmless jokes to sickening comments about one's family, and this example perfectly demonstrates that. On an episode of Raw, Rollins and Riddle had a sit-down interview to promote their match at Clash at the Castle, and it quickly escalated. It all began with Rollins acting like his typical self, wickedly laughing as he says that Riddle is not on his level. Then it took an unexpected turn after Riddle claimed that there is only one man in his relationship, referring to Becky Lynch. Rollins' attitude completely shifted after that comment, and his eyes darkened as he said,
"Talk about your family. Oh wait, you ain't got one because your wife divorced you and took your kids and they don't want to see you anymore, huh?"
This feud went from Rollins mocking Riddle for using phrases like bro and dude to bringing up personal details about his life, showing exactly how dangerous trolling can become. And number 1, the Shield attire. In his Royal Rumble match against Roman Reigns, Rollins surprised everyone by taking a trip down memory lane. When it was time for his entrance, the iconic opening of the Shield theme song began playing, and the camera immediately scanned the crowd to show Rollins coming out with the black riot gear. He had a smirk plastered on his face because he knew this would remind Roman Reigns of all the moments they shared together during the Shield era, including the time Rollins stabbed him in the back and hit him with a steel chair. If this wasn't bad enough, Rollins even hit him with the Shield bomb through the announcer's table during the match. He was successful in a sense because he did get in the head of his opponent, but it was at his own expense because Roman refused to let go of a submission hold on Rollins, ending the match in a disqualification. Anyways, that is it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.